I am your moderator today. Today's webinar is titled Enhancing Mobile Capabilities with Everbridge. You'll be hearing from Dale Bremer, Technical Sales Engineer at Everbridge. So let's go ahead and get started.
Thanks, Sal. Appreciate it. This
Hey,
is
Dale.
Dale Bremer. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So I was just going to go into the agenda just to set the table for our presentation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Today's webinar is really best suited for people who are not currently clients of the Everbridge suite. We're going to go into the mobile capabilities that Everbridge does offer. If you are a client of Everbridge, this can still serve as a refresher to you to see how mobile capabilities within the software system work, maybe give you some ideas on best practices. What we're going to talk about is a product overview, who Everbridge is, what we do, what our software does, the what and why of our mobile capabilities. We're going to live demo the mobile capabilities within Everbridge on a use case basis. So it is, we're going to talk about use cases, and we're going to give examples of how mobile capabilities can be enhanced with Everbridge. I hope that everybody can stay on because we do have a very special announcement, and everyone's going to want to be interested in this, whether you are a current client or if you are just investigating what Everbridge can do. We do have something lined up towards the end of the webinar, so please do stay on. We are then going to open it up for live Q&A. Please submit your questions throughout the webinar. I'll show you how to do that in a second. We'll compile them all until the end, we'll compile them all, and at the end we'll go ahead and pose those to Dale, and he'll be able to answer those questions. I'm anticipating that this webinar will go about 45 minutes. We'll try to get you out of here in that amount of time. If it's really cranking, maybe we'll go the full hour. So we'll have to see. A couple of housekeeping items, as I mentioned, we will be doing Q&A at the end of the presentation. Please submit your Q&A using the GoToWebinar functionality, and we will, again, compile those and leave those until the end. We are also going to invite you to chat on Twitter to keep the conversation going there. You can tweet us at Everbridge, and we are using hashtags Everbridge and hashtag mobility. The final question that always comes up, I'll go ahead and answer this now. We are recording this webinar. We will make both the recording and the slides available on the Everbridge website. We'll try to email out the audience those assets. We may be able to get it out tomorrow. If not, give us until early next week to get those out to you. So with that, I want to officially start our webinar, Enhancing Mobile Capabilities with Everbridge. As I mentioned, our presenter today is Dale Bremer, Senior Technical Sales Engineer. Dale, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Great. And do you want to talk a little bit about your responsibilities here at Everbridge and what you do?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a sales engineer. I've been doing software sales engineers for a number of years, and I recently joined Everbridge. And we've got a great software package, including mobile, which is what I'll be reviewing with you today. So Sal, if you want to pass over control.
That's exact. So Dale, I'm going to give you the presenter ball, and let's get started. Okay, so if you want to share your screen, we should get going.
Do you see it now?
I do, yes.
Super. All right. So first thing I want to do is just quickly review the Everbridge solution. So Everbridge is I just had a failure of Microsoft PowerPoint. Let me restart it. So Everbridge is a critical communications suite, and as soon as PowerPoint comes back up, we'll get it going. And it should come up in just a second. There we go. Sorry about that. So critical communications, what is that? Well, it's your typical emergency response and mass notification. We also have interactive visibility, a weather-related module, some planning and recovery, and of course incident communications. we're going to focus mostly on this lower left corner right here, which is Mobile Member and Mobile Manager. So just to give you an idea of the breadth of Everbridge and the solutions we have, so we have solutions running for corporate, for finance, for healthcare, for higher ed, government, transportation, and energy. So we have over 1,500 customers. So we're going to review Mobile Manager first. Now, our Mobile Manager is an iOS and Android application for sending notifications. You can use it on a phone, or you could use it on a tablet. We're going to review extensively sending notification using templates, but I'll also show you that you can send a notification from scratch either in either your phone or your tablet. We also have some basic reporting in this application as well, so you can see what's going on when you're sending a notification via the mobile product. Mobile Manager is a companion app. It is used by your contacts that have you've loaded into your system, and you've invited them to download and join with the Mobile Member app. Again, it's an iOS Android application running on phones or tablets. The member uses it to respond to any notifications that you've sent out, either through the web portal or through Mobile Manager. You can also send, optionally, information back to your organization in an unsolicited format, and I'll show you that as well, and optionally share your location and pictures. And you can also optionally share your information outside of your organization. Now, what and why are we doing this webinar? Well, number one, we want our customers and our prospects to better understand how our mobile applications are working for smartphones and tablets. And more importantly, we want to make you aware that we believe that the Everbridge platform and the capabilities behind it is very critical to your process, and you need to communicate. You need to communicate immediately, regardless of where your people are and where you are, in fact, if you're the one doing the communications. So it's critical to be able to receive and send throughout your contact base with the Everbridge suite. So we'll talk about the reasons why this is important. So let's go over what the two apps we're going to see today in action. So Mobile Manager, again, that is the one that if I'm a sender of notifications, that's what I would use. Mobile Member. If I'm using that, then I'm a receiver. In fact, you can have both installed on the same phone or device, and I'll show you that. More importantly, why would you want to use them? Well, first of all, it increases the ease of use of the Everbridge system. It increases the timeliness of your information. You get information out quickly, efficiently. It allows that communications to happen whether you have a desktop or laptop or not. And if you're in a meeting or if you're in transportation mode somewhere, you can still use the system. And so it allows you to continue using Everbridge even while you're mobile. I've got 4 use cases preloaded today that I'm going to show you. One is a fairly typical weather event. In fact, I don't know if anyone has been monitoring, but there's been quite a weather event up in Boston, which is actually one of our offices is up there. And we used our own product to send out a notification to all our employees that the Lexington office was going to likely close for a couple of days because of the snowstorm. We're also going to go over an on-call team assistance type of use case, and then an IT security breach. And then finally, I'll show you the Mobile Member app generating an unsolicited message. All right, so the first use case. This is a snow removal type use case. We're going to pretend that our office is in New York City and that we have to remind our employees that snow removal is going to be happening by the city department, and we don't want them to get caught with their car in the wrong location. So we're going to send that out as a standard notification. Okay, let me switch to the mobile app so you can see it. And I'm also going to switch to our live app web based app, so I'm logging in there as well. And we're going to go straight to the Notifications tab. And we're going to watch how this becomes active in just a moment. Before I start this first one, though, I did want to kind of review all the functionality in the mobile apps, in the Manager app, just so you get an idea of what's available. In the upper left is a menu option that shows switch organizations. If you have multiple organizations, you may need to use that. Then what I mentioned earlier is you can do a new notification from scratch. So it could be one of standard, polling, quota, and conference. And then you put in the title, the body. Optionally, you can record a voice message to be included. You can optionally include a picture from the gallery or take immediately on the camera if you so. And you can save it as an event name. And you can save the contents as a message template if you need to do that. And then below is your ability to select your groups, individuals, rules, and map. So I can select a group, and I can switch between these groups by looking at each of these tabs up here, individuals, and then rules. And we'll go back. And then there are a number of different settings that you have the ability to customize for your phone or your device that has the Mobile Manager app loaded on. We won't go into all those options. So let's move on to the notification template for our first use case. So again, this use case is the snow removal option. And we've preloaded this template into the system, and it loads on the Mobile Manager app at the same time. While the Manager app is loading, I'm going to show you the actual template. And here it is. So I built this template on the web portal, and then automatically it'll show up in the Mobile Manager. So let me show you that it shows up over here as well. And so I'm clicking on that option, and it'll show up in just a second. There it is, Mobile Webinar Snow Removal. So that's the one we're going to use. And it's really this one that's behind here. So we'll go back to the live active notification so you can see that it comes live as soon as I click on send. So we're going to click send. We'll just go ahead and not put in an event name. We'll just send it. So it's got all the settings. It's got all the contacts. It's ready to be sent. And what it looks like is it's been sent, and now it's starting the process of sending out those notifications to the contacts. And notice we now see that it's live behind the scenes here as well. So we can see that the mobile webinar snow removal test is happening, and there it is. That's mobile member that is reporting that on the same phone that I sent it on is now getting a notification. And so we'll wait a second and we'll see if we get some confirms or not. We should. And while we're doing that, I'll switch to the mobile app. Let me go there. And there it is. So the little orange dot is indicating that I haven't read it. And I'll open it to show you what it looks like. And so it shows who sent the message and who it was to. And in the body of the message is what we wanted to portray out to my user base. So that's what mobile member looks like. The other people that are answering this are likely answering via email because that's the way I set it up. Let me return back to Mobile Manager. And there we go. We see we've got the reporting that is here. Notice as well that you can force a manual refresh with a little arrow with a circle there in the middle. And you can also rebroadcast the same notification, or you can optionally send follow-up. And you can choose the context who will get the follow-up. All right, let's move to the next use case. So let me go back to my PowerPoint. And I'm going back to the listing of templates in the mobile app. So in this next scenario, this is not one I really want to see happen in real life, but it's part of life. And that is, we are an operations person inside of a hospital that our responsibility is to notify hospital staff of situations that require their response, whether that be a security incident inside the hospital, or in this case, the fact that, hey, we're going to be receiving a large number of victims from a nearby explosion, and we need to get our on-call team into the hospital ER ASAP. So in this use case, what we're going to do is we're going to send out a polling message with quotas. And that's going to go out to our ER on-call team as well as other doctors and nurses so that we can get some trained volunteers back into the hospital as quickly as possible. So again, this is sending out a polling notification with quota. And let me switch back to the mobile app. So that's our notification template right there. So we'll click send, and we'll send it. And we'll see it show up in the active history in just a second. And while that's going on, let's go ahead and look at the template so you can see what a polling with quota looks like. And that's this one right here. So we have our title, we have our body, but what's different down here is we have a polling request, and we have some text responses for doctor and nurses, and we have a number needed that we're desiring to get a response, a positive response from. Let's go back to the active again. And the notification just came in on my the mobile member again. And so you can see that it changes slightly, that we've got confirmations, and we've gone out with 9 different people. And let's see if this is the Reflector app. Hang on just one second. There we go. The Reflector app stopped working for a second. And let's switch over to the mobile member so you can see what it looks like to the person receiving. And there it is. As soon as it shows up on the screen you can see. Hang on just a second. I'm kind of waiting for it to catch up with my actual phone. There we go. And this is what it looks like to the receiver of the message. Again, this is a polling with quota. So I'm going to select I'm coming in. Notice that it pops a dialog you get the opportunity to cancel, or in this case, I'll select OK. Now let's return back to the mobile manager. And there, we've got a couple of responses, the one that I selected and a couple others. We still have not reached our quota, so what we could do is continue monitoring, or we could send a follow-up to those that have not confirmed and say, we would need your help, and continue on with this until we get what we need and people are on their way in. You can also monitor that same kind of thing over here in active history. So let's go look at that as well. So we can actually see who's confirming on confirmed. So we can see that Sal and a number of other people have confirmed. All right, let's move on to the next use case. This next use case, we are a company that sells products via a website, and it's typical for companies like that. They have a monitoring system that is used to prevent security breaches and various other things. You definitely don't want to get your let's say your members with credit card information out. So you've got systems that are detecting for those possible situations. So in this case, we're going to assume that we've got a hit on the monitoring system, an alarm went off. We need to get our IT team into place and on a conference call as quickly as possible so we can determine who's best to start research on this issue, to block whatever action is causing an issue, and then we'll do a team conference to follow up once we know more information, and then we can take follow-up action after that. So the key feature here is sending out a conference request via the mobile manager. So let's go back to mobile manager. So in this case, we're going to choose the test e-commerce website. So again, we're going to send it. And there it goes. And so this one's, again, a conference call. As soon as it comes in on my mobile manager app, I want to show you that as well. So let's go back over to the live web portal. And we'll go back to active history, and we'll see that this one is launched as well. And I just got in the notification. And we'll go to mobile member. And I also got it in on my text as well. And there it is. Let's see if it shows up on your screen. There we go. And I'm also getting it on a phone call as well. I'll decline that. So here's the message that came into the mobile member. Number one, we want to confirm the receipt. Hey, I got the message. There's an important issue. So I click OK. Notice that in the message body is a little telephone icon. So I can touch that, and I can get immediately onto the conference from my mobile phone. Now this, of course, works with devices that are actually phones. If you have a tablet that is Wi-Fi only, it wouldn't work in that case. But if it is a phone, if it has a phone in it, it will do that. It will join the conference call. And it just makes conferencing that much easier. number one, you can control who's getting the message because you've got a template or you're using the new notification feature of Mobile Manager, and then you're going to be placed immediately into a conference call so that you can use your device to monitor and decide what to do with this particular situation. All right, so finally, let's move back to the last one, and that's the unsolicited message from a member. So in this case, let me go back to the mobile. Notice in the upper right corner, right here, is a little edit icon. Now it's very similar to the other application. Mobile Member and Manager do have similarities. So you can see that you can log in with multiple different accounts if you need to. You can manage those accounts. You can set a application passcode, which is required to log into the application. You can see what you've replied to, what's been read, what's been shared, or all messages. So we can see all of them that we've been working on. But in this case, we want to use this little edit capability. Now, with our application, from an administrative point of view, you get to decide and say what message categories your mobile members will be able to see and use. So in this case, we're going to choose weather. Then I'm going to be typing on the phone. So it's going to take me just a second. And still typing here. There we go. Now, I also want to share my location, so I expose that option, and I want to take a picture. I want to take it from the photo gallery. There it is. And so now I'm going to be sending back to the Everbridge suite the fact that I've detected local flooding. Here's a picture. Here's my location. So I'm going to click Send. And there we go. We can see that I included a picture. We can see the icons that I've shared my location. Notice as well, this is actually at the admin level, is whether or not I can share this with other people in my contacts on my phone. So I can allow that or I can turn it off. Back to the Everbridge system. And let's go to the Universe tab. This is our map function. It just so happens to also be the place where you can monitor and look for member messages. In fact, you can set the system to warn you when X number of member messages are coming in, so many per hour, so many in total, a number of different options. So we'll look at member messages here on this little tab. We're going to look at unsolicited. Now notice that it shows you the picture that I sent, who it's from, the title, and the content. What's also neat is it does show this little icon here, Show Hide on Map. And so now it's showing my physical location because I have my location via my phone. And that actually is where I am. So a very easy to use system for communications going from Everbridge Suite, the Mobile Manager, to Mobile Member, or in some cases, if you want to allow it, mobile members reporting back to you, and it shows up on the map. So from a summary point of view, why do you want to consider using the mobile applications I've shown you? Well, again, it makes incredibly easy to use system. It gives you ability to get information out to your contacts that much faster, that the communications can occur without relying upon a desktop or laptop computer. It allows you to get more out of Everbridge while maintaining your mobility. And again, to review, we've got mobile applications for iOS and Android, smartphones and tablets. They're used for communication, sending and receiving. Again, the manager used to send notifications using a new notification, which you would type in, basically from scratch, choose your contacts and let it go. Or you can do what I was doing, which is build as many of your templates out as possible so that it's quick to use and send out your notifications without doing lots of typing on the phone. Again, the members can receive those notifications from either the web or the mobile manager app. They can respond through confirmations. They can respond through quota request, respond via conference call request. You can also send the unsolicited information back and optionally include your location and images. So now let's get to the one more thing that Sal was mentioning. He kind of gave it away. So the just one more thing moment. We were talking about two applications, again, Everbridge Mobile Manager and Everbridge Mobile Member. And these are available today on the equivalent app store, whether it be the Android store or the iPhone store. We've got two new mobile applications, one which is available today and another which will be available shortly. And I'm going to talk about those. So they are designed for collaboration and communication directly between colleagues, member to member, so to speak. HIPAA Chat is our HIPAA-compliant texting, video conferencing, and push-to-talk system. Where is this used? Well, it's used in a hospital environment and or doctor-to-doctor environment. It makes it much easier and safer to be talking about patients between doctors and nurses and the people that are providing those services. It also allows a secure video conference to be established, and you can talk about the patient, you can show the patient information, you can even scan and look at the patient and add the patient to the video chat if you desire to do that. So what does this mean? Well, in all practical terms, it means you can, as a doctor or a health person, can work to get care to your patients that much faster, get consulting with external doctors done without always having to wait on that doctor to come to the hospital. And one thing for those out there that are in the healthcare industry, want to be careful with the HIPAA compliance, because a violation, it can be a very costly thing. And finally, we're coming out with a new product called SecureCom. This is for those that are in the high-tech industries, or one simple example would be a wealth management company. You probably don't want to be talking about your customers' wealth on open channels like FaceTime or iMessage or any kind of texting. You really want to be secure. You want to make sure that that communication goes back and forth, so you can share with that same kind of communication, texting, video conferencing. You can share files. And again, this is built on that same technology that the HIPAA chat is built. Sal, I'm going to turn it back over to you at this point.
Thank you, Dale. I'm going to take back the presentation. So we are going to go over Q&A. We actually have a lot of questions already in the queue. So more questions can be asked via GoToWebinar in the GoToWebinar chat or the GoToWebinar Q&A area. I wanted to present some parting gifts as we do our Q&A. So a couple of other resources you may want to take advantage of. So we do have another webinar. It's next week. It's called Cyber Attack Planning and Response with Terry Stevenson. She is a cybersecurity expert. She works for a company. She's the founder of a company called Global NSA. So she's going to be talking about cyber attack, really notifications and how to plan for the unfortunate case of a cyber attack. Also, the HIPAA Chat app is currently available to download for free if you want to test it out. It's available. I'll leave these links up here as we do the Q&A, but it's available in the iPhone store, the Google Play Store. Also, if you are looking to get a personalized demo of what we talked about here or of any of our other functionality beyond mobility, I'll leave the demo request link up as well. I will make sure that all of these links are included in our follow-ups to this webinar that we are going to try to get out tomorrow, but it may have to wait until next week, depending on how fast we can process the video. So with that said, let me see if I can get these questions back up. Give me 1 second. So I'm just going to ask these pretty much in any order. Dale, the first question that came in was, has there been an enhancement to have the capability to preview contacts prior to sending out a notification from a mobile device?
Not yet. That is something that is on the roadmap of to-do things.
Okay. So thank you. Just going through my list here. Okay, so here's a good question. This is from Rick. What occurs when the polling numbers are reached? So you did go over that polling functionality. So you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So what happens is, as soon as I have, in this particular use case I had set up, I had asked for 3 doctors and 5 nurses. As soon as I get 3 doctors and 5 nurses, the notification will actually stop. And you can go in using the web portal and see who actually responded, so you get an idea who has responded positively, so who you can expect coming. Now, in that particular use case, we could have more show up than what we asked for because we sent it out to a larger number. But the actual notification stops at that point when it meets the quota.
Got it. Perfect. So I have a question here, and again, a reminder to our audience, you can ask questions via the GoToWebinar questions area. So we do have some time, so we'll try to get through all of these. Again, you said we were going to try to stop in 45 minutes, but if it goes longer than that, we'll take the full hour. So please do submit any questions that you do have. A question from Leanne. Can the conference call info be our internal call, or is it an Everbridge provided feature, meaning that so they use AT&T teleconferencing services. Can we use it with the feature to automatically connect to a teleconference, or is it an Everbridge conference solution?
That actually depends a lot on the vendor, but for the most part, it's built to use the Everbridge so that you can quickly connect. If you use another service, you can provide all that information in the notification, in the text of the notification, but there's generally not a quick and easy way to hand that off.
Okay. So let's see here. So there, another question here. I don't know if you can go back or if you just want to speak to this, but there's a question, can you demo the voice recording option? So I don't know if you can somehow show that with the emulator or if you just want to speak to it.
I'll just speak to that, but basically it's using the same phone recording feature or device feature that is on the native application. So if I have an Android app and it has a microphone, when I click on it, it just starts the recording. I can then go back and save it and replay it and then, save it until I'm happy with the contents. And then it gets bundled with the notification and sent. And
just displays as a WAV file or WM, whatever the file type is that you receive, kind of like voice memos?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So this question's come up a couple of times. I'm going to go ahead and repeat it again. Yes, we did. We are recording, so we did record this presentation. We will post this on the website. I believe we will post it on the blog in terms of the slides. There will be a webinar replay section up in our webinars area under our resource center. We will also email out both the slides and the webinar recording along with the links that you're currently seeing on your screen. All right. Whoa, questions are coming in fast and furious. Let me scroll back up. Do you need a data connection, an internet connection to send receive notifications?
You do not. You do need a Wi-Fi connection at minimum. So if I'm connected to the internet with a typical Wi-Fi, then yes, I can send via that. Now, obviously, if you're mobile and you don't have an internet connection through Wi-Fi, but you have your carrier's plan turned on, then it will work in that mode.
Okay. I have one that came up. I want to get to it about our new HIPAA chat solution. So, Dale, if you could please go into a little more detail about the HIPAA chat feature, about how it's secure and how the data passes through Everbridge.
Sure, absolutely. So the HIPAA chat is so secure that I can't actually show it to you in demo because it knows that little reflector app that I had running. It knows when it's running and it disables it. But how it works is it will encrypt the transmission, whether it's text or it is the push-to-talk or it's the video conference. It then encrypts that, and it has an encrypted key that goes with it, that it goes then through the server that is supporting this function, and then the receiving person, only that person can then see or read the text or the listen to the push-to-talk or watch the video dynamically. And it happens so fast that it's imperceptible to see that all is happening. It's pretty amazing once you demo it out.
Sure, and we have encryption details that we can provide you, independent of this webinar. So if anybody is interested in HIPAA chat, I do recommend that you download it for free, or contact us about how you can get set up with sort of an admin account, and we can provide a little bit more technical detail. I think a little bit more technical than what we want to get to in this demo. But that is an excellent question, and we hope that everybody who's in the healthcare area does, consider taking advantage of this new product. So a question here, would any of these work as a platform for a virtual emergency operations culture? It would need to record and assign tasks and actions.
I'd have to think through that one. There may be a way to do that. That question hasn't come up, so I think we should independently get with that person and determine how we could meet their need.
Okay, so thank you for that question, and we'll try to follow it a little bit more, flesh that out a little bit more, and see what we can do. A question here: translation. Can the messages be translated into different languages?
Not at present. Our stance, the company's stance on that, has been that you need to put in the message the language that you want to use. So can you use it multi-language? Yes. What you would have is you would have a notification template in, say, Spanish, a notification template in English. You could send them both out at the same time, and the reason you do it that way, and the way we do it, is so that there's no possibility of getting misconstrued on the actual translation. So if you put your text in the text message in Spanish and turn the language option on to Spanish, the text-to-translate engine will know to do it in Spanish. Now, that's not to say that in the future we're not going to look at making that much more robust and easy to use. I don't have a date for that, but that is something they are looking at.
Okay. I have a question here. Is HIPAA chat in the Apple Store? I can't find it. Yes, I guarantee you that HIPAA chat is in the Apple Store. The link that I'm providing here, if you want to copy that down, it's kind of hard to copy a shortened link like that. That should take you directly there. You can also go to the HIPAA chat page on on Everbridge.com, and the download buttons will be there as well. You should be able to find it if you search. I'm not sure. Maybe it's make sure that you're doing HIPAA with 2 A's, because it should be there. But yes, I mean, it should be available for download. Hopefully, if you're not able to find it, let us know, and we'll just send you the direct link. Again, the link will be included in our follow-up emails as well. So if you really can't get to it, you just want to sit tight until we get that to you tomorrow or next week, we'll serve it up for you. But hopefully you can find it. Can you attach a file to any of these mobile notifications, Dale?
I believe you can. No, at present, I don't think you can. That's another thing we're looking at. One of the challenges with that is that the file has to be on the device.
Okay. And let me see. I think we're getting through a lot of these. So if you have any more questions, please do submit them via GoToWebinar, because I think we're gonna wrap up soon. Let's see here. What do I have here? Will incident templates be available in the Manager app?
That's another future to be done item, but yes, they're looking at adding the Incident Manager. For right now, what we can say is go to the regular website, but use your mobile browser. So if you're on an iPhone or you're on an Android phone, launch whatever is your preferred browser and go to manager.everbridge.net and log into your account. Okay.
And then, again, please keep sending in your questions. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Here's one. If you are sending, oops, it keeps moving on me. Sorry. Where did it go? Sorry, give me 1 second to find. If you are sending an alert from the map selection, how do you filter the contacts?
Good question. In the map, you can use the capabilities to select a region and or use a pre-saved shape to do that. But once they're collected, the contacts are collected. At this present time, it's a little bit difficult to use the mobile app to do that. I believe that's also on the enhancement list, but I'll double check that.
Okay. And let me see here if we have anything else coming in. And questions, we have a couple more minutes, and then when I want to wrap up, questions can be submitted via GoToWebinar. Had a question come in about email notification, if you could just kind of clarify what you mean by that. A couple people are noticing that you're going to see on the HippoChat download Tapestry Telemed associated with the app. That is the correct one. So if you are looking for HippoChat and you see it with Tapestry Telemed, who we work with to help design the HippoChat app, that is it. So go ahead and download it. So let's see here. Can you send video in the messages? That's a good question.
Not directly from the phone or mobile device presently. Again, that would be along the lines of being able to attach directly from the device a file. The one thing I didn't mention previously is that using notification templates, if you have a template and the file is attached already with the web portal, it will also go from, it won't show on the mobile app, but it will be sent. Does that make sense?
I mean, I think it does. So let's see here. I was asking for more clarification, but I think this is the last one, so I'll try to get to it. Okay, so here we go. So I know today's, I'm just going to read this verbatim. I know today's session was all about mobile. However, does this in any way integrate with the email notification? More clarification on that is, we may not have every employee's mobile number, but we have all email addresses. Would we want to send office closure notifications to both?
Absolutely. So what you can do is you can create your member contact list in the normal way. You know, a lot of people use the file upload, some people use the secure FTP, but let's assume you've got all your contacts out there. And your contacts, some of them gave you that personal phone, some gave you perhaps a personal email address, and obviously you have their work email. So you can always set up your contacts to use whatever is in the contact information for the specific members. So if I've got some members with 3 different methods and some with just one, the system is smart enough to figure out and send whatever method that you've selected from the mobile app and or whatever method you've selected from the saved template if you're using templates, and it will send it out via email to whichever ones have email in the system. So absolutely, it doesn't. You don't have to have any of the mobile contact information. You just have to have some contact information.
Got it. So I think this will be our last one, and then we'll wrap up. And Dale, thank you again for doing this. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of engagement, so you did a fantastic job. But so last one, if you change the default settings, default caller ID for your account, will it update the settings on all senders that use Mobile Manager?
No, not at present. That's kind of the remote kind of management things that we would have to look at. Basically, that Mobile Manager and the settings really are on the phone itself. So it's there. So if I go in and change it, it's local to that installation of Mobile Manager.
Got it. Got it. So with that, I think that we are going to wrap up the webinar. Sorry we weren't able to end in 45 minutes, but it was because of questions, so I don't think that that's a bad thing. Dale, again, thank you so much. I think this was really helpful to everybody involved. I think it was helpful to people, current clients, people who are interested in our software. I think anybody who's kind of interested in mobile capabilities with notifications like this really got a lot out of it. Again, thank you to our audience for sticking around for so long. I encourage you to take advantage of our resources. Hopefully we see you again next week at our cyber attack webinar. Maybe we'll have some goodies for you to download after that as well. So thank you, everyone, and everybody, stay safe and talk to you soon.